Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to you on this beautiful day. Beautiful, hot. If it's not hot, then it's cold and we're never happy. So I'm just going to say it's a beautiful day. You can all see my screen, and I just wanted to quickly show or just ensure that all of you have got your slides. It's under your shared files. You'll see it there on your right-hand side of your screen. In your chat box, in the chat dialog box, there's a shared files folder. You can download the slides from there. And then I'm going to start and we can take it from there. All right, so a warm welcome to everybody on to our webinar called Guidelines on Small Merger Notification. Let me just change this color. I don't think we're gonna, the color is not optimal. How's the red? Yeah, better to see on the slides. Okay. So this is a draft guideline that was issued by the Competition Commission. They made proposed changes to their merger guidelines and the notification of merger guidelines in June this year. They did it with a comment period up to, I think it was the 21st of June, and they said it would be effective, or it was set to take effect from the 7th of June or after the 7th of June this year. So we haven't heard anything yet, but we haven't heard anything to the contrary, so we have to assume that it is in place. All right. So the fact is that there are some new guidelines available specifically on small mergers, and that now entails when the Competition Commission must be notified. So my name is Lettie Janse van Vuuren, as you can see there, and I'll be your facilitator for the next 90 minutes. We will be dealing with questions and answers throughout the webinar as well. Let me just start by introducing myself very briefly. I think if you want to read through the blurb, you're more than welcome to. That's the marketing blurb. So what I do is I do this for a living. I do webinar hosting and research, and I write my own material. And then I do a lot of consulting for auditing and accounting firms on whatever they need. So it's basically your typical fire putter out there, you know. Somebody has a problem and I solve it. So it's either Urba's coming for a visit, or Psycho needs this, or I'm battling with this on my audit file. What should my audit opinion be? Or do you have an example of a working paper or some technical thing? That's where my forte lies. And in addition to that, I also do some audit file reviews and then just general like manual customization, and I help officers basically. I'm very passionate about effectiveness and efficiency. So if there's a quicker way of doing something and saving time and standardization, I'm all for it. All right. What we will be dealing with today, I'm sure you've seen the outline on your email as well, but just to refresh, we're going to start off with the introduction. Then I'm going to quickly look at some basics of the Competitions Act, some definitions or thresholds. I'm going to look at some important sections, but the focus will be on Section 13. So I will be looking at the requirements of Section 13. What does it say? What must you do in terms of Section 13? Then we're going to quickly just look at the role of the Competition Commission. Okay, why are they involved? The Competition Act, they're there to administer and whatnot. To the Competition Commission, what is their role in this whole process? And then looking at the reason for the small merger notification changes. A huge change of it was due to the digital markets. So before we look at the criteria on when to report if there's digital market involvement, is we will look at some of the risks that are involved first. Then we will look at when must the Competition Commission be notified of a merger. The changes on the criteria we will focus. Right. So we will be focusing on the criteria both for small mergers and acquisitions as well as for the digital markets. Right. If you see me mute myself, don't be scared. It's just because I need to quickly cough or something, and I don't want to do so loudly into the microphone. All right. After we've looked at the criteria on when to notify the Competition Commission, we're going to look at things that you need to consider when you are now actually notifying them. Is it a voluntary notification, or is it a required notification? And if it's a required notification, what format does it take? All right. How does voluntary disclosure work? And then just a little something in closing. So that's what's on the agenda for today. I always like to start with on the lighter side of things. There's a little quote here by Andrew Carnegie that says, "And while the law of competition may be sometimes hard for the individual, it is best for the race because it ensures the survival of the fittest in every department." Okay, now the race they talk is not about race as we know, color as in white, black, and so forth. We're talking about the race as in the on your marks, get set, go race, okay, where we have a winner. So that's why it's good. Competition is good for the soul. And we know that some of us thrive under competitive circumstances, while others just basically go and lie down under competitive circumstances. So that's the same way with companies like that. But we will look at why the Competition Act is there. And I'm sure you know this already. It's basically so that nobody in South Africa has a monopoly. It's there for the greater good of the South African economy, right? To make sure that we don't just have one person who monopolizes everything. And then I love this cartoon on the right-hand side that says, "Hello, this is Bill Gates. Remember, nobody has a monopoly on safety, so buckle up." Right. So there's a twofold warning in there. I haven't tried that with my kids yet. That might be a good thing to say to them. Nobody has a monopoly, because I've always got to say buckle up for safety, and then they look at me with big eyes as to say, "Oh, really, Ma? Why again must we buckle up?" So now they know I don't start the car if it's not buckled. All right. So monopolies, those type of thing, not the Monopoly game. Monopoly, the game, comes from the word monopolize, and that is a term that has been coined in the Competition Act. Right. If we start and we look at the introduction, on this slide, I'm going to just quickly talk about two abbreviations that you'll see me use on the slides. Where I've used CompCom, CompCom stands for the Competition Commission, right? So where you see me use CompCom, and when I say CompCom, it means the Competition Commission, right? It's also just because sometimes I talk too fast, then it's just it comes out like all joggled and mumbo jumbo. So saying CompCom is quite easier than saying the Competition Commission, right? Otherwise, it's going to sound like you're slurring your words. M&A stands for mergers and acquisitions. And then just I thought I'd give you these because these are some of the terminologies that they use in the Act itself. When they talk about an SME, they talk about a small and medium business, okay? So I suppose technically it stands for small and medium enterprises, but they refer to small and medium businesses. When they talk about HDPs, it is historically disadvantaged persons, right? We don't talk about PDIs as in previously disadvantaged individuals, because we're talking here about historically disadvantaged. It is in line with what they call antitrust law. If you guys have seen, I know my husband is part of an international firm, and when they did training on the Competition Act, and they called it antitrust, and I'm like, what is antitrust? Why don't they just call it competition? You know, it's competition. So wherever you see in the media or anywhere the term antitrust is basically just another coin, and it's an American term basically, and it's used internationally for competition, the Competition Act and the competition law. All right, healthy competition in that country. So HDPs, and then obviously FAQs, right, is frequently asked questions. I found a couple of interesting ones, not relating to mergers and acquisitions at all, but I found a couple of them on the Competition Commission's website, which I found quite useful. Right. The main thing with the purpose of this guideline, the guideline basically was released, okay, after the proposed amendments to the guidelines on specifically small merger notification.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.